Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the show. This is Zip, here to talk about crypto news going on out in the market. And absolutely, there is still a ton of information coming out. We are on the cusp of great things going on. In today's show, we're going to talk about the markets a little bit. While the markets do not show and reflect where we should be with all this news coming out, we are right there, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you for all the subscriptions, all the comments, and everything as we try to grow a community of folks that resonate with each other as we travel through this journey of crypto and become future millionaires and multimillionaires for some of the folks out there. Again, be safe, do not engage with the scammers, and protect those precious assets that we're going to be talking about today. So a lot going on out there. We're going to look at the markets again, big picture of the SEC case. And again, some of this historical fact of what we've been going through the last couple of years, specifically with XRP and where we are going and maybe why this had to happen. All the puzzle pieces are coming together, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are so excited and you understand what you hold. But we're also going to discuss the negativity, those that were negative on XRP, and how it's amazing. They're all changing right now and coming to the light, so to speak, with where Ripple is going. We're going to look at the Ondo Summit. The Ondo Summit had some big news coming out for XLM as well as XRP and the industry as a whole. And then we'll look at the ETF updates and talk about the stablecoin regulation that's going on. But again, we're going to dive right into it. I do have a new mic set up today, so I hope it sounds okay. Give me some feedback in the comments, trying to clean up some of the things as I grow this channel. But with that, markets are kind of flat. Bitcoin at about $99,000, XRP at 252, and Cardano at 74, but not a lot going on within the markets. And again, I'm an unemotional investor. I do not allow emotions to play into what is going on and if the markets are being manipulated or not, and they're up and down. And we have seen extremes both ways. So again, just stay calm, keep your stuff secure. We know where this is going, and this should paint a bigger picture for you again today of where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a listen to Vincent Scott here and what he had to say.
So, with all of this coming out to light, all of this corruption with U.S. aid being used as a money laundering mechanism, and how do they send it across border, do you say? Well, they have all these unregulated blockchains. And we know that that's the settlement mechanism for all this dark shit that's going on. So which blockchains have literally been investigated this whole time, been compliant first, had the SEC up their ass for all their financials this whole time? The lawsuit was an umbrella. Make sure that none of that dark shit's touching our ledger, because we're compliant first. And the SEC went after them. And the government has.
So again, folks, big picture there. A lot of what we have specifically been going through as XRP holders the last several years, if you think back and are non-emotional about it, Ripple had to go through that really to get before the regulations were there. XRP in and of itself is now legal and not declared as a security per the SEC and per the judge in that SEC case. So big picture, the stage was being set, in my opinion. And while it was painful and we may have lost a lot of folks during that, unfortunately, that didn't understand the bigger macro picture. And that's why I look at the macro view of where we're going to be, not just in the coming 3 to 6 months, which are absolutely going to be exciting. We're looking at the larger picture of where the financial system is changing. It is changing before our eyes. And by the end of this show, I hope you will begin to see that bigger picture. But Mike Novogratz, if you've been around the industry for a while, he was always bagged on Ripple and XRP, and many folks have. But it's amazing. They're starting to see the light as well. And they understand where this is going. As we have been talking about, Brad G and XRP are going to be sitting right next to Trump in the White House with David Sachs and the czar. We're going to have a seat at the throne, so to speak. And they're starting to see that as well. And some of that past perspective is changing. Let's take a listen to this.
But I was wrong. I was wrong in that I thought lots of these ecosystems would go away. And they didn't. And I have a very different view on this now. Like, it's the libertarian view. If people want to be part of the XRP army, let them. That's their decision. And XRP has a narrative and they like it. It's, in some ways, all of these ecosystems have a little bit of store of value in them. People are storing their value there.
I was skeptical that XRP would have lasting power because Ripple, the company, owns 60% of them, now 55 or 50% of them. And I was like, that just doesn't seem a proposition that's going to work. And I've been dead wrong. Hats off to Brad Garlinghouse and his team. Ripple is now, a institution. The XRP army is real. They care about their ecosystem and their coin.
But I was wrong. I was wrong in that I thought lots of these ecosystems would go away.
Again, he's saying he was wrong. He's admitting, and it takes a big man to admit that you're wrong. And we know, as part of the XRP army and owners, that we have always been right. So again, congratulations if you're still in this coin. And again, I am a utility maxi. I do not just own XRP. A lot of these highlights are about XRP today, but HBAR, XRP, XLM, XDC. I am a utility maxi, but XRT is one of my strongest holdings, and I absolutely love it. Coming out of the Ondo summit yesterday, let's listen to David Schwartz as he states that we are literally on the cusp of something great going on. And we'll take a listen to this.
If you're just watching, great to be here. Andy and I have been talking all day about this convergence of the traditional financial world and the crypto world that has been building, that both of us have been such a part of for the last so many years. Talk to me from your standpoint, from building Ripple for so long, from going through the ups and downs at Ripple, being here today, what it means for you.
It's tremendously exciting. I feel like we really are on the cusp of a mass institutional adoption, both of DeFi and of other blockchain technologies. I think this is also like one of the key obstacles to mass retail adoption. A lot of people in the space previously thought that retail adoption was like the big wave, but I think institutional adoption is a precursor. You have to connect to where people are. You have to go to where the value is. You can't build a new financial system from zero, ignoring the existing financial system where everybody's money is, where all the value is, where the real world is, trillions of dollars in value. You can't just say, oh, forget about it.
I hope you all caught that. Building a new financial system. And this is what I've been saying the whole time. We are building a new financial system, and it's happening before our eyes. And the other thing that he alluded to there is you have to be within the system. And Ripple, utilizing the XRP token, has always been going within the system, counter to some of our other BTC Maxi friends. And again, this is no shade on Bitcoin, because I think it's going to be there long term, in my opinion. However, when you try to go and create your own system, it's not going to work. They've always embraced the system, and that's why XRP is going to rise to the top. ETF news. So we know this is the list of ETFs that have currently are going through for XRP ETF approvals. And coming out yesterday, this is the next step, folks, for our XRP ETFs that are coming out. The 19B4s on behalf of Bitwise Invest and Canary funds for their XRPs have been filed. The 19B4 forms are the next step in the ETF approval process. We are so close, ladies and gentlemen. After insurers file the S1s, the 19B4s basically ask the SEC, which is now a new SEC, it's a crypto-friendly SEC, to list them and trade the prospective ETFs. Once the SEC acknowledges receipt of the filing, a 240-day window opens for either to approve or deny. And I believe these are going to be approved. And I think that 240-day window is going to be shortened. Historically, based off the last administration, they'd wait till the last second, the last hour, minute to get to deny any ETFs. And that's why they were sued heavily. And we finally got that Bitcoin ETF. But the filing of the 19B4s does not guarantee acknowledgement or approval by the SEC. But the agency has recently acknowledged the 19B4 filings. So the SEC has them, they're reviewing them, and we're on the clock, so to speak, to get the ETFs dropped. And I, again, do believe it's going to be quicker than that 240-day process that is normally established, because they are moving quickly and we have the administration and the SEC more behind us. Brad G dropped right after this time clock. Basically, Brad Satan, we're on the clock now, and it is just a matter of time before these ETFs come out. And with the ETFs, we know what that is for. That is for institutions to be able to come on board. If those ETFs are approved, they're going to buy a lot of XRP, and they're going to have a lot of XRP for their investors, the other investors that want to come in through the ETFs to be invested in XRP and the crypto market in general. For us, we like to hold our own coins, and that's why we buy off of the central exchanges. But the ETFs are absolutely going to be huge. And let's listen to the modern investor and what he has to say about these ETFs and his speculation of what's going to happen when they are approved.
Going on, but logically, Grayscale is probably going to get this. If we have a proper XRP ETF within the United States, XRP is probably going to be $15 to $20 between summer and the end of this year. That's just a completely logical. If you
$15 to $20, I'll take it. I'll take that all the way to the bank. Absolutely exciting. So again, once these ETFs are approved, there's going to be a wave of institutional money that's coming in. And this is only one piece of the puzzle. We have so many other things going on, which we're going to get into here in a minute. But ETFs allow liquidity to come on chain to XRP. So the new banking system is already here, according to Verson, and that's RippleNet. And they've been building this out, and they have so many NDAs, as we know about, for years and years and years. With XRP at its core, the financial landscape has shifted, yet the mainstream remains unaware. Not you, if you're listening to this content and other content, because you are ready, we are ready for the greatest wealth transfer that is unfolding right before our eyes. And we do realize it. Again, we are light years ahead. We have been pre-positioned long ago.
As an example, Ripple with RippleNet are set out to achieve, right? So lower cost, faster, more transparency and greater access. And I think one of the big questions here is, what happens with the correspondent banking model? I think the role that the banking system plays is crucial in the global economy, and I think that will continue. But the sort of traditional model of, pre-funding accounts, for liquidity purposes.
Again, the traditional finance environment is changing, and it's going to be modernized. That's the theme, and that's where we're going, and it's happening before our eyes. Coming out of the Ondo Summit, other big news for XLM and Stellar. Again, I'm an XRP holder and an XLM holder. I am diversified across all of these chains, and there's a reason for that. So when I'm exiting, if one is not doing as well as another, I can exit. But coming out of Ondo, the summit, Ondo will be bringing USDY to the Stellar Org network, offering yield-bearing RWAs to Stellar's global ecosystem of treasury management, collateralization, and global payment services with over 400,000 global cash on and off ramps. Again, treasuries, institutional treasuries is what Ondo is doing. They are tokenizing USD treasuries and bringing them on chain. And if you have time, I'd go back and listen to that Ondo summit. There was so much coming out of that, a ton of great information. But XLM, again, is the sister, the cousin, whatever you want to say, to XRP. And I think XLM is going to be doing great things. And again, coming in the future. And who knows when an ETF for XLM is coming as well. Information, again, coming from Mr. Man, always great content out there. But what's he talking about here? He's talking about Bitcoin. And this is very interesting as far as Bitcoin being established as an entity to be used in the financial system. And we've seen remarks from the EU and the BIS as far as resistance to Bitcoin being implemented in the financial system from a day-to-day perspective. It's slow, it's old technology. However, it can still be a store of value. But let's listen to what they're saying here.
Will permit, so I'll be very selective. Yes, first question, and then we'll get some questions from the audience if time permits. But the Bitcoin was cited as an example that was introduced to address payments and other shortcomings that were perceived in the market. But in practice, it's more for a speculative investment instrument. Do you see a future in which cryptocurrencies and decentralized finance play a larger role in the payment space?
So unless they're tied to the unit of account, they're not going to make any sense, right? The volatility is too high. I mean, the stable coins are the only ones that are going to be useful. I mean, in a world in which everything in the universe was denominated in Bitcoin, that would be different.
Again, and we know not everything is going to be denominated in Bitcoin. We know that's what the stable coins are for. The stable coins will be the front end, the unit, as she was saying, tied to the system. And again, the puzzle pieces coming together. rlusd from Ripple is part of that system and that unit of account that is required. Bitcoin is outside of the system, not going to work. And the Bank of International Settlements basically is coming out and saying the same thing that many of us have thought for a long time. The plan's all coming together. And just some fun here. The Tates, if you know the Tate brothers, put out a poll, basically. What's your favorite crypto asset? Well, XRP came back at the top with no surprise there. The XRP army on X basically came out and voted, and 52.5% believe their favorite crypto is XRP, and that is one of mine as well. All right, the Hill, again, is having is ongoing with the stable coin regulation and discussions about stable coins. And some of that came out yesterday in the comments. Just wanted to go over those because this is the big picture, the macro picture. We have to get the regulation in place regarding stable coins, and that is what they're working hard on. So again, Chairman Hill said, building upon our work on digital assets in the last Congress, because there's been some discussion about this, but we could not get any momentum. Now we're seeing the momentum. Our discussion draft will provide clarity for payment stablecoins and ensure a federal and state path for stablecoin issuers. Regulation, folks. And Steele said, Congressman Steele, Representative Steele, by implementing a clear regulatory structure for payment stablecoins, we can support continued innovation, bolster the U.S. dollar's position as the world's reserve currency and protect consumers and investors. He's looking forward to getting feedback from consumers, issuers, and stakeholders. And remember, as part of this, David Sachs and the folks that are going to be pulled into Washington, Brad Garlinghouse, are the ones that are going to be providing this feedback to them. So where do you think the culmination of this is going to end up? It's going to end up with our bags very profitable is where it's going to end up. But again, stablecoin regulation, highly important. It's going on and we see it going on. And just be aware, we are, as David Schwartz alluded to, we are literally on the cusp of great things coming. Just a recap, the cusp of why things are coming that way. The ETFs being dropped, tokenization at the forefront with Ondo Finance and what's going on there, which is a Ripple partner, and also working with Stellar and other chains as well. The ETFs, the regulations, everything's coming to a pinnacle climax point and leading up to March 10th, where all banks have to be ISO, US banks have to be ISO 222 compatible, and will begin working on that messaging system. And the coins that I speak about, the projects that I speak about are all ISO 222 compliant. So absolutely exciting times, folks. Just hang on, protect your stuff, be smart, do not engage with the scammers. And I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their day. Have a great weekend. And until next time, Zip is out.